Sometimes I think that God is like a famous person, but this famous person has a lot of time on his hands, and the time that he has is dedicated to you. So the other day I sat down and I saw my guitar and I knew it was song day, and I wrote what I thought I needed to write in that moment. And what I wanted to write about was just a love song. So I wrote a love song. And so I was like, okay, well, how can I describe some type of love that's kind of like an extra notch? Like, how do you really feel special? I was like, okay, I want to feel special. And I guess I think it'd be really cool if somebody could feel super special, like looked for. Like there's thousands of people and there's one person that's being thought of. So I wanted to write a song about feeling special. So I thought, okay, I could probably write about a guy liking a girl, because there's thousands of people in the world, and for this guy to like this girl, I think is pretty special. Well, because I don't know about you, but to have the idea that you're thought of when there's thousands of people that you could think of, if you really zoom it out, then it's pretty crazy. It's kind of like making eye contact with somebody. When you make eye contact with somebody from far away, there's like a fine line that you see that person. There's something special about making eye contact, because you can see eye to eye somebody who's really far away, and you can somehow just know that you guys exist. So what type of love, I thought, really describes and would make you feel kind of special? And I thought, I think it'd be really cool to have a famous person like you, because a famous person has thousands of options to choose from, but there's only one person that he really thinks of or wants to think of. He decides to think of. So imagine if you were think of, I don't know, your favorite celebrity, your favorite Hollywood star, your favorite, somebody that you look up to, but who's famous. The reality is that they're probably not going to talk to us, but it'd be pretty dang cool if that person kind of just thought about us and was like, okay, I actually want to decide to spend my life with you. Well, that's kind of crazy. That's another level. But anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to write the song about. And I tried to think, okay, so what does this have to do, or how can I somehow make this real for everybody? Because I'm talking about a song about how a famous person likes one person. There's a million stars, but there's one person that they think of. But the reality is that, how many people of us are actually going to marry famous people? I don't know. You can. I believe in you if you want to. But that's not the case. So I thought, how can this actually be personable to everybody? What person is there in the world that actually does have thousands of people to think of, but only thinks of one person? How can this song actually be special to somebody if somebody famous doesn't like them? And then came in clutch, the myth, the man, and the legend, the truth. I thought, okay, definitely. Actually, I knew in mind when I thought of it, but this story kind of completes it. I was struggling to think, okay, well, how can I make this personable? And then I went to go get some coffee, and I went to a store, and then I went to another store, and both of these stores were closed. So I went to another store. And then at that store, I saw a guy who I run into, I swear, every time that I go out. He seems to be asking for money every once in a while, and every time that he's asking for money, I catch him. It's like we cross points, and I saw him again. And we always seem to talk for a long time. We always seem to have pretty long conversations. And in that day, it's weird. He tells me about, I don't know, it's interesting. He's a fascinating guy. And we sat down and we talked about different things that we were needing in the moment. And then he was telling me how he had needed a place. He needed a couple bucks kind of to finish off staying at a hotel. I didn't really have that much bucks. I didn't really. But my dad was generous enough to lend some. And so my dad provided enough for him to go and to sleep at that lodge that he needed to stay at, the hotel. And then, so we kind of finished our conversation, said goodbye, I left. And then I thought, I don't know necessarily that we crossed paths perfectly or for a reason, but I do know that him needing a place to stay and for us to cross paths is pretty significant in the aspect that he was thought of. I don't know if he was thought of by me necessarily or by my dad, but I could have landed anywhere else. It's to say that there's thousands of people in the world, but that one coincidental crossing was like as if God had thought of him, knowing that he needed a place to stay and that I needed some coffee. Now, it doesn't matter whether you believe that might be super coincidental or not. That's fine if you might be a little skeptical about that. But if you can trust God enough to apply that to your own life, then you're going to win a free smile. If you can trust God enough to say, you know what, I do think that you're thinking about me. And there's thousands of people in this world, but when I shut my eyes and when I speak to you, for you, God, the rest of the room freezes. And although you have millions of people to talk to, you think of me. So that's the reality that you live in. That's how I can make the song special to everybody. Because I can talk about a love song that talks about one person in real life that we see that's famous, but that's not, I just felt like that wasn't enough because not everybody can have that. But everybody can have God. Because why? Because God has everybody. And so God is like a freeze man. He like freezes because when you close your eyes, he listens. He might not respond like in that moment because he's kind of silent. But that's not the point of you sitting down necessarily to pray. The point is you sit and you speak or you freeze and you feel unnoticed. But at that moment, the truth holds you to know that the most famous person in the world just wants to think of you. The most famous person in the world wants to make sure that you sleep tonight because he knows you don't have a home. And that's the type of God that God is. God is ethical. God would be, I guess, we hear God to be like adjectives, loving, compassionate, and good and all this stuff, and maybe sometimes like harsh and other names that we might know God as, but check out this word that might describe God. Ethical. Ethical and a gentleman. Somebody who freezes for you in that one moment. So, wherever you are, whoever you are, that's all. Just want to let you know that the world freezes for you in one moment. The world is God. God freezes for you when you speak to him. And he thinks of you, and he is attentive to who you are and what you need. And so if you want any famous person to like you, I promise you, God's the right person to like you. God is the ideal famous person who more than likes you, who cares about you a ton. That's the truth. So in case you're wondering who might be thinking about you, this is a song describing the silent famous person called God who's thinking about you. Na 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 na. There's a million stars frozen out in time, staring down tonight. And oh, there's a million hearts calling out to mine while I think of you tonight. And I know you're wondering tonight, how will you survive? How will you get by? And I know you're wrestling tonight, but I have you inside. Though there's a million stars tonight. Oh, 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 oh. you my light tonight. 'Cause I think of you tonight. Your beauty's my delight. Be happy tonight. 'Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. 'Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. Oh, it's true. I'm silent tonight, like I'm far inside, like I'm far from hearing you. But I got you marked like nobody else. Decided to help, though it's true. I'm silent tonight, like I'm far inside, like I can't hear you. But it's true that I got you marked like nobody else. Decided to love you. Decided to love you. Decided to love you. Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. Cause I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. I got you on my mind. From JC. I'm holding you tight, thinking of your